Lakers Talk is on
710 ESPN.
I think there's a very simple way to describe the offseason so far for the Lakers. This is the best roster in the NBA.
The Lakers are definitely winning the offseason, and it's almost time to start that run at number 18.
You have made your roster, which is already a championship roster, which already has the foundation of LeBron James and Anthony Davis, two superstars in the NBA. The Lakers have not just a stacked lineup, they have the best lineup in the NBA.
From the home of the world champs at LA Live, this is Lakers Talk.
Here's Allen Sliwa.
What is going on? What is going on, Laker fans? What is going on, Laker fans? I appreciate you guys tuning in, Laker fans. Thank you for being a part of the show. This is it's the Lakers Talk postgame show. That's basically what it is. When I'm done with Lakers Talk on 710 ESPN, I come over here on social. We get it going on all our ESPN Los Angeles accounts. We're also doing it on YouTube, Lakers Talk with Allen Sliwa. So thank you for being a part of the show. We got a lot to get into. So this seems to be the case every time I start doing these shows, right? Every time I get started, there is a lot of stuff that's always going on with the Lakers. Today we had a chance to listen to Dennis Schroeder. So Dennis Schroeder did his Zoom call with all the LA media. So I'll talk a little bit about that. Had some interesting stuff about potentially his thoughts on being a starter with the Lakers. Jared Dudley, $2.6 million contract. He's back with the Lakers for 1 year. So that's obviously another veteran that the Lakers keep here. I didn't even have a chance. Brad Turner, who I have on the show all the time, is really just a great at covering the Lakers for the LA Times. He put out an article literally within the last maybe 15 minutes just talking about how the Lakers, Rich Paul and Clutch Sports and Anthony Davis are supposed to meet with Rob Pelinka tomorrow. Obviously, if that meeting happens, maybe there's some more clarification on what he's going to do for his contract. So a lot of moving and shaking going on around the Los Angeles Lakers organization. And all I could do is try to give you the latest of what's going on. So let's get started with our show. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll read the comments as I go. If I don't read your comment, maybe I didn't like it. What are you going to do? You know, you can't win them all. Can't win them all. First topic here that I want to get started with, how the Lakers and LeBron James should approach this short off season. This is there's no denying the position that the Lakers are in here. You won an NBA championship on October 11th. This week, training camp is starting. December 11th is your first preseason game, which means less than 2 months after you won a championship in Orlando and you were in this bubble, you're going to start your defense towards keeping, obviously, the crown, trying to go back-to-back. There's a lot of storylines that come out this year, but, obviously one of the challenges for the Lakers, it is going to be that it's such a quick restart. So the question that I'm asking Laker fans out there is, how should the Lakers approach the regular season? How should they approach the regular season? How much should be about just resting your players? How much should be about not paying too much attention to the regular season? I don't want to say devaluing the regular season, but to an extent, that is kind of what I mean there, because I've seen a lot of Laker fans talk about this specifically, and they've certainly said to me, at least on social or on Twitter or some of the shows when I do them, that the Lakers shouldn't take the regular season all that serious because of how quick the turnaround is. So let me put it this way. LeBron is a different character. Like, I understand if you wanted to say, LeBron, don't come out here when you have 72 regular season games. Don't try to play all 72 games. Don't try to play 32 plus minutes a game or whatever the case is. LeBron, pace yourself. You're on your 18th season in the NBA. You guys know that LeBron, if you count all the playoff games that he's played in his NBA career, it's the equivalent of 3 additional seasons on top of the 17 seasons that he's already played. So you can make the argument that LeBron's played 20 seasons already in the NBA. because he's been to the playoffs and been to the NBA Finals 10 times and all these deep playoff runs that he's had. And I'm not counting anything about Olympic basketball as well, USA basketball. So the LeBron part of it, I think that part, it's a no-brainer. Pace LeBron James. You have to pace LeBron James. I get it. It makes sense. It's what the Lakers should be doing. It's what LeBron should be doing. But I don't know if LeBron is going to sign up for that, because I was saying this last season. Last season, I talked about how I didn't think it was going to be, the regular season was going to be a priority for the Lakers. But what did the Lakers end up doing in the regular season? Plus LeBron James, you guys see right there. LeBron virtually played every game, was playing a lot of games deep in the fourth quarter, 30-plus minutes. LeBron really didn't pace himself. LeBron really didn't rest. I didn't feel like that's what LeBron was doing during the season. And that was different for me, because I thought the Lakers' approach would be the number one seed wouldn't be that important in the West. It was all about just being healthy and feeling good for the postseason run. Of course, COVID happened, but, leading up to March, Lakers were full throttle. So this year, I actually look at it a different way. I think LeBron, they should definitely take the foot off the gas a little bit and be smart and strategic with how they use him. But I don't think they should devalue the regular season. Let me remind Laker fans out there. The Lakers have 5 new players on the roster, 6 players that are off the roster. So no more Rajon Rondo and Danny Green and Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee and Avery Bradley and Quinn Cook. Lakers lost a lot of players. So it's not like everybody just came back and there was no turnover on the roster. No, there was a lot of turnover. So I think the regular season is going to be very important for the Lakers, because on paper, it looks like the Lakers have the best roster in the NBA. By the way, they have the best roster in the NBA. They do. You don't add Montrezl Harrell and Dennis Schroeder and Marcus Gasol and Wesley Matthews to already go with, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Kyle Kuzma, KCP, Markieff Morris, Alex Caruso. I already said Alex Caruso. I said him twice. You don't make those changes like they did with this Lakers roster and just think that, we just won't value the regular season. So I've heard a lot of people say, don't worry about the regular season. I kind of disagree. I think the Lakers should value the regular season. And I think these players gelling together and finding kind of familiarity with their tendencies, what they do well, what their strengths are, I think that part's going to be important. So if you ask me, I think, yes, it's a short offseason for the Lakers, but I think there's a lot of players on this Lakers roster. One of the great things with this Lakers roster is they got a lot of youth, too. They got a lot younger. Anthony Davis is 27. I think these are all players that are 27 and under. Alex Caruso, KCP, Anthony Davis, Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, Dennis Schroeder, Talen Horton-Tucker. So you got a lot of young players on this team. So I think the way the Lakers approach this season, yes, be strategic with LeBron, be strategic with Marc Gasol, be strategic with Wes Matthews. But these other players, you got to let them play. And you got to, use these 72 games to gain that chemistry, because we've seen teams that have great rosters, but if the chemistry is not there, it could be different. By the way, I don't think this is going to be a concern for the Lakers. I think the Lakers would be just fine, but I don't want to see them just discredit the regular season. Okay, let me see what some people here are saying. Aniket Mohan says regular season will be important for building chemistry with our new roster. I literally just said that. It's like you almost quoted me. You should have put that in quotes and said Allen Sliwa. Like that's something that I said. Maru on YouTube says AD will miss Rondo a lot. See what happens there. Okay. Let me read off a couple more here. A lot of people loving Jared Dudley signing. So Jared Dudley, obviously a big signing for the Lakers. Not big signing, but it's just a good vet to have on the team. That's it. That's all he's really going to be. Jared Dudley signed $2.6 million. You know what I love? I love that he wanted to be with the Lakers, and that's obviously was key. And he just wants to continue to try and contribute, be a good locker room guy, and I think he's done that. All right. MA says on YouTube, number one seed a must? I don't think it's a must because I don't think home court advantage is going to come into play. I read something earlier today, COVID-19. Dr. Anthony Fauci was talking about COVID-19, but he was talking about the NBA specifically, right? And he was in an interview with Yahoo Sports, and they asked him if they potentially see, somebody asked, the possibility of full 20,000-seat NBA arenas in July when the postseason is scheduled to conclude. And Fauci said, I think that'll be cutting it close. Basically, I don't think home court advantage is going to come into play this year. So if it doesn't come into play this season, and, we certainly don't even know what the NBA is going to look like this year. Like, if you thought the challenge of finishing off last season, those 8 regular season games at the Orlando bubble, if you thought that was tough, how about 4 regular season games, 72 regular season, or 4 preseason games, 72 regular season games? How about a 76 game schedule without a bubble? And, we are setting new records for the most cases of people testing positive for COVID-19. The NBA is going to be very interesting this season. Let's just put it that way. And I don't know how it will all play out, but you got faith in the NBA that they're going to try to do the right thing, but I'd be lying to you if I didn't say there shouldn't be concern about how that's all going to unfold. Okay. Speaking of the NBA and speaking of the preseason schedule is out. Do we have the preseason schedule? Do we have it there? Do we have the graphic? I don't know if we do, by the way. I'm working blindly on this one. Okay. Well, I got the preseason schedule. How great is the schedule? How great is the schedule if you're a Laker fan? You get the Los Angeles Clippers 2 games in a row. December 11th, December 13th. You get Kawhi and Paul George and Serge Ibaka that's there, and Marcus Morris, who got overpaid. And, you get this Clippers team that I think will certainly butt heads with the Los Angeles Lakers. And then after that, so you get the December 11th, December 13th games against the Clippers. Then you get the Phoenix Suns, December, 16th and 17th, 16th and 18th. So the Phoenix Suns on December 16th and December 18th, Chris Paul and Devin Booker. So we're waiting for the regular season to come out. And the regular season schedule is going to come out in 2 chunks, right? Half the season, the first half of the season, and then the second half. And I'm sure there's a very strategic reason of why they're doing it that way. Maybe they got to make up games. Maybe there's some games that were rescheduled or canceled because of COVID. Maybe there's incredible amount of progress over the next few months, and they get to have fans trickling into arenas by the time the second half of the schedule comes. So I know they have their reasons, but to just have the preseason schedule out now, I think those 4 games are going to be great, and I'm sure Laker fans are excited to know that in less than 2 weeks, a week from Friday, is when preseason basketball starts. It's going to be the Lakers and the Clippers to start things off. So I'm excited about that. I think from a matchup perspective, you got our division and the Western Conference. You got some new players that have kind of shifted. Obviously, the Lakers got some new players. Clippers got a couple new players. Suns got a couple new players. So we'll get a chance to obviously watch some of these teams here. All right, let me see what people are saying here real quick. Robert Gonzalez wants to talk about the AD contract. I'll get into that in a little bit. We're not ready for that, but I will talk about that. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Somebody's saying that Lakers to sign Allen Sliwa for the last roster spot. If they had 100 roster spots, I'd be nowhere near the discussion. Okay. I got all these people trickling in right now. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Okay, before I talk about the Lakers versus Clippers in the playoffs, I'm making a prediction here. I'm making a prediction that Lakers and the Clippers are finally going to face each other in the playoffs. Before I do that, let's get some roll call going in here. You see where we got Laker fans tuning in from. I had somebody hitting me during the show. Somebody's hitting me from, I think, Abu Dhabi. They were tuning in from on 710 ESPN. So tell me where you're tuning in from. I'll give you a quick shout out here on 710 on our Lakers talk, and we'll keep going with the show. Okay. Santa Fe, New Mexico. Thank you for being a part of the show. Singapore in the house. East LA. Philippines, Tampa. Somebody on YouTube is at Lemon Pepper Oceanside. I see what you did there. Getting you some lemon pepper wings. San Marcos, thank you for being a part of the show. Someone's at King Taco. They're lying. Don't believe them. Philippines, Florence, Italy, China, Vancouver. Greetings from Qatar, Granada Hills, Springdale, Arkansas, Camarillo, Alaska, Redondo. Just look at where everybody's tuning in from. That's why I love this show. Vegas, Crenshaw, Lake Arrowhead, Marina Del Rey, Jamaica. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being a part of the show. Los Angeles, Tulsa, Norwalk, thank you for being a part of the show. I appreciate you guys all being a part of the show. Keep putting where you're tuning in from, and as the show progresses, I'll try to make sure I give you guys a shout out. Somebody said they're at the 710 ESPN studios. Thank you. They're just a couple doors away. Okay, so let me make a quick little prediction here. Will the Lakers and the Clippers finally face each other in the playoffs in 2021? Will it finally happen? Will the Clippers live up to their end of the bargain? Because we know the Lakers lived up to their end of the bargain. I think it's going to happen this year, Laker fans. I really do. Clippers have the second best roster in the Western Conference. So it's kind of pretty simple if you ask me. Denver's good. Denver's got a nice young roster. They're hungry. Clippers have the second best roster in the Western Conference, and that's only because Klay Thompson is not healthy. If Klay Thompson was still healthy, I would have probably picked the Warriors over the Clippers. But Clippers made a couple moves here in these last 10 days or so. So the Serge Ibaka signing, obviously, Luke Kennard of the Detroit Pistons, and then Nicholas Batum, who Shams Charania from The Athletic was reporting that he thinks that he's going to eventually end up with the Clippers. So what the Clippers do, they got, I thought, some veterans. I think they were smart as far as the positions that they got. I think Serge Ibaka as a stretch will be a good fit. I just remember Nicholas Batum back in the days when he was with Portland. I think both those guys are 32 years old now, Serge Ibaka and Nicholas Batum. Those are the type of players that I feel like the Clippers needed. They need good vets. They need guys that will be more kind of help with the chemistry, guys that can maybe face other stars on the team and tell them, no, you got to do this, you got to do that. There's got to be that balance. So I think the Lakers got the best roster in the NBA. I think the Clippers have the second best roster in the Western Conference. And not going to lie, I want to see the Lakers and the Clippers go at it this year. I really do. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm looking forward to the preseason, so we can kind of start seeing what these rosters look like. Lincoln Heights, Orange County, thank you for being a part of the show. East Los Angeles, I appreciate it. Belgium, the Philippines, Riverside. Somebody's at the Pepsi Center. I get it. I know what you're doing there. Virginia, Lakewood, Van Nuys, all of you guys. The Bronx, thank you all for being a part of the show. Vegas, thank you for being a part of the show. Third Shift, UPS, Ohio, thank you for being a part of the show. So this is the one thing. AJ Walls on YouTube says, "Don't get your hopes up, Sliwa. That's going to be Lakers versus the Clippers." I got more people saying you can't count on the Clippers to make it to the Western Conference Finals. I actually think it's going to happen this year. I think this year the Nuggets losing Jeremy Grant, as somebody's mentioning on YouTube, I thought was a pretty significant loss for the Nuggets. They're still going to be really, really good, but I thought Jeremy Grant was a nice player for them. I know Max Kellerman was saying that he thinks the Dallas Mavericks will be a bigger threat to the Lakers than the Los Angeles Clippers. I don't see that. Not yet. Dallas is coming, and Dallas is going to continue to improve their roster, but I don't see them as a bigger threat yet. I see that, this is going to be kind of this, there's no rivalry, so I don't want to make it sound like there's a rivalry between the Lakers and the Clippers. I know that. People hallucinate if you say Lakers and Clippers have a rivalry. But what they do have is they got two teams that don't like each other that are in the same city. And you got Montrezl Harrell that came from the Clippers to the Lakers, just adds another storyline. You got the Clippers that were the laughing stock in the playoffs after they, blew that 3-1 lead over the Denver Nuggets. Everybody, obviously just assumed that the Clippers were going to face the Lakers. So you got a lot of incentives for the Clippers. This year could kind of be a make it or break it year. If Clippers disappoint again and they don't get to the Western Conference Finals, maybe they break up the Kawhi Leonard or Paul George, or maybe Kawhi and Paul George just say, we're not going to do it here anymore. We're going to just move on in our career. So there's a lot riding on the Clippers this upcoming season. And I like I said, I think some of the changes they made this offseason, I think will be a good fit. They got a chip on their shoulder. And the Lakers just have the best roster in the NBA, led by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So those are my thoughts on the potential matchup, Lakers and the Clippers. And I actually want to see it this year. Silver Lake in the house. Van Nuys, Georgia. Brazil in the house. Orlando. Mario on YouTube tried coming up with a joke. He said, Batum goes the dynamite. I think when I read it out loud, it was funnier than when I actually just read it on here. Look, just keep working at what you do. All right. If jokes is what you do, just get back to the drawing board and get back on it. Okay. Couple quick things I want to plug real quick before I read any more. Moorhead, Mississippi. Appreciate you tuning in. If you're tuning in on YouTube, greatly appreciate subscribing to the channel and giving a like if you like the video. If you don't like it, give it a dislike. What are you gonna do? Can't win them all. ESPN Los Angeles. Follow us on all these platforms. Obviously, from a local perspective, we're spending all day, Monday through Friday, making sure that we're delivering Lakers content. Obviously Dodgers content, Rams content. So whatever's going on, we're doing it. So follow us on all our platforms. You can follow me at Allen Sliwa, and then on YouTube, Lakers Talk with Allen Sliwa. If you could subscribe to the channel, I appreciate it, and follow all of the ESPN Los Angeles accounts. I got one other plug that I got to do here. So I'm doing my Lakers show today. We gave away a Laker hat, which I still don't even have, the Laker championship hat. Okay, but I was told from sources that I have a Lakers hat coming my way, and then a Lakers championship shirt. So we gave away this during my show. And if you tune in during all through this holiday, you can win a Lakers stocking stuffer. So let me explain it. We're calling it Santa Key. Come into town, stuffing your stocking with Laker goodies and collectibles. Keep listening for the sounder of Santa Key coming down your chimney. Once you hear it, be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN. You'll have a chance to pick a stocking above. So you see all the stocking aboves. You can pick Keyshawn, Greeny, Max, Mason, Ireland, Sedano, LZ, Kaplan, or me, Playoff Sliwa, and win Laker goodies and collectibles. So that's what we're doing at 710. Give away Laker official hat, T-shirt, championship hat. I don't even have one yet. Okay, let's keep moving on here. Got to get on here to the next topic. Dennis Schroeder did his presser this morning or this afternoon. So Dennis Schroeder did a Zoom call. All the local reporters are a part of the call. And he was asked about his role with the Oklahoma City Thunder and just, coming off the bench. He was the six-man runner-up. I last week already gave you guys my starting lineup. I said, hey, I'd love to see Dennis Schroeder come off the bench. Are you kidding me? Dennis Schroeder, Montrezl Harrell, Kyle Kuzma, Alex Caruso, and Markieff Morris coming off the bench. What? That's the best bench in the NBA. This is the deepest roster in the NBA. Dennis Schroeder talked about how, yeah, he did that for 2 years in Oklahoma City, but I don't think that's going to be his plan for the Lakers. At least in his own mind, he does not want to come off the bench. So, not that he doesn't want to come off the bench, but his expectations, it sounds like he wants to play with LeBron James and Anthony Davis and be a starter on this Lakers team. So, give you just my quick 2 cents on this one. One of the things that is very apparent on championship teams, you got to sacrifice. You just do. Because if you're going to be on a championship team, you're probably not going to get, the numbers that you're looking for unless you're Anthony Davis or LeBron James. If you're AD or LeBron, you're playing 30-plus minutes a game. You're putting up 25-plus points a game. You're leading the league in assists like LeBron James was. You're the best defensive player. I mean, there's certain players, superstars, where they got the green light to do whatever they want. But what's just as important on a championship team is not just the role players, but it's them accepting their role and flourishing in that role. Now, Dennis Schroeder's in a little bit different of a predicament and situation. Schroeder's 27. He's incredibly talented. I think out of all the players that the Lakers brought this offseason, he's the most important one between Montrezl Harrell, Marc Gasol, Wesley Matthews. Out of all the players that the Lakers lost, Danny Green, Rajon Rondo, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, Avery Bradley, and Quinn Cook, I think he's the most important addition to the Lakers, and he's got a chance to really shine on this Lakers team and this Lakers roster. He averaged 18 points coming off the bench with the Thunder. He spent a solid year with Chris Paul. I asked him, actually, that was my question to him. What did he learn from Chris Paul? And he talked a lot about his leadership. And, he's going to try to apply that to the rest of his career here in the NBA, but specifically this year with the Lakers. The dude's going to be a good teammate. He wants to win an NBA championship. He fills a void for the Lakers that the Lakers incredibly, incredibly important to have a player who is a point guard who can create for his own, who is a threat to get to the basket, who can score in the paint because he could get to the basket. I think Dennis Schroeder is going to thrive with the Lakers in this team. Now, back to the starting role, back to the starting position. Do you think Dennis Schroeder should start? Let me just kind of simplify all this. Do you think he should be a starter on this Lakers team? So I'll read off some of your comments here. If you think Dennis Schroeder should be starting, or if you think he should be coming off the bench, what's in the best interest of the team? So last week I said that my preference would be Wesley Matthews, KCP, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Marc Gasol. That's the starting five that I just thought was very similar to the Lakers, the way they played last season. Wesley Matthews steps in for Danny Green. Marc Gasol steps in for JaVale McGee. Yes, athleticism you lose with Marc Gasol, but then you got a shooter that's Marc Gasol can stretch the floor, something JaVale McGee couldn't do, and I think that's going to really help the Lakers, opens up the lane for the Lakers a little bit. So I just kind of already labeled Dennis Schroeder as a player coming off the bench. I want to see what you guys think. Let's see what you guys think here. YouTube right now, Muffin87 Man on YouTube. Thank you. Great name. Schroeder needs to earn a starting spot, ball out. So he's basically saying start him. Another one on YouTube. Dennis does not have a chip yet. He needs to relax. John East on YouTube. He is good enough to start. Okay, so we got a little bit of mix of everybody. Let me just say this real quick. head coach Frank Vogel is in a fantastic spot. Look at the options head coach Frank Vogel has on this Lakers roster. He will have to figure out himself whether, Dennis Schroeder is going to be a starter or he's not going to be a starter. Whether he starts or not, I will tell you this. Dennis Schroeder is going to play starter minutes. Dennis Schroeder is going to be in at the end of games. And Dennis Schroeder is going to have to, earn that spot to be in towards the end of games and make sure that, he's given the proper effort on defense, that he's jiving with LeBron and Anthony Davis, that everything's mixing well together. And it might take some time for them to gel. But I think Dennis Schroeder is going to play big-time minutes with the Lakers, and he's going to be incredibly important to the Lakers' success this upcoming season. I'd probably prefer him to come off the bench. That's my personal opinion there. So when we do get closer to the season starting and we get into these preseason games, we'll find out how coach brings it. But yeah, he kind of threw everybody by surprise. He's like, no, I did that with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm expecting to be playing with LeBron and AD in the starting lineup. So I'm sure Dennis Schroeder is looking out for himself. He wants to, obviously have a good year for the Lakers, have a good year for himself, earn a big contract in the offseason. So that's obviously got a lot to do with it as well. Okay, see what else we got here. Read off a couple comments here. Yong Yi on YouTube, he'll be an all-star in 2021. All right, he's got a lot of confidence there. Here's a great point by Sonny Foster on YouTube. He says, bench, he wants to see Schroeder come off the bench. I want to see him and Trez pick and roll. That's another thing. Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell did so good for the Clippers. They were so effective on the pick and roll that I think Montrezl Harrell can have a similar effect, incredible effect with Montrezl Harrell. I think those two together off the bench would just be a great dynamic. By the way, Schroeder's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. He's going to be creating the offense. He could find Caruso when he's cutting to the basket. He could find Kuzma spotted up in the corner. So it's not like the bench coming in would be, trash. That's not going to be the case at all. I think it's going to be the most talented bench. But we'll see what happens. And as the season progresses, this is why the regular season is going to be important. This is going to be an opportunity for all these guys to shine together. Okay. Anthony Davis, we kind of shift here to Anthony Davis. So AD, by the way, maybe we'll get some more information on AD's contract tomorrow, the negotiations, if there is negotiations going on. Brad Turner, I mentioned, is reporting that the Lakers, Rob Pelinka, Rich Paul from Clutch Sports, and AD, I think, are supposed to meet tomorrow, potentially. That's a rumor going around right now. I mentioned this last week that I want to see AD sign the 1+1. I want to see him sign a 2-year deal with the Lakers, an option on the second year. It matches with LeBron James. Then they could go into next offseason and try to recruit another all-star and, kind of be flexible with their contracts. But this is kind of the conversation that I want to have about Anthony Davis. Is AD ready to be the most valuable player in the NBA this upcoming season? Is he ready to be the most valuable player on this team? Kind of really take that throne from LeBron James and say, you know what, this all doesn't go on your back. Put more on my shoulders this upcoming year. Let me carry LeBron James and the Lakers when I need to. It's funny. I don't have the answer to that because last season, where I thought LeBron James might take a little bit take a little bit of a step back, I thought he was still the best player in the world. I thought LeBron James, the talk about Giannis earning all those first place votes of MVP and LeBron only getting 16. I don't have to sit here and go back and tell you guys I thought that was pathetic that was the case. But I thought LeBron James was the best player in the world. And what LeBron ended up doing was winning finals MVP. He was the best player in the world. But I wonder what Anthony Davis is in his second year with the Lakers. I wonder what Anthony Davis brings to the table when, I think there's going to be more and more expectations on his shoulder because he's only 27 and LeBron is coming into his 18th year in the NBA. So I don't know what that step is going to be from Anthony Davis. And frankly, I don't understand what the step's going to be from LeBron. I mean, is LeBron ever going to slow down? Like, when is he? Is he going to slow down this season? Are there going to be times where we're like, okay, hey, you could see that LeBron is starting to slow down? But 2 months ago, he was still putting up triple doubles in the NBA Finals, ridiculous triple doubles. So, what type of step Anthony Davis takes this upcoming year? And is Anthony Davis ready to be the most valuable player for the Lakers and the league? I don't have that answer because LeBron has not taken any step back. So until, LeBron decides, okay, I'm going to slow down a little bit and I'm going to come back to reality, we're going to have to wait and see what happens on that front. AD will be after the three-peat. Okay, we got to get the second one before we get the three-peat here. AD needs 2 more years under LeBron James' wing. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Aren't you supposed to enter the prime of your career at 28? 28 to 32 is when you're supposed to be in your prime. By the way, you guys are lucky I'm not in my prime anymore. Because if I was, I'd get out to Echo Park right now and just find some kind of a court, and I'd cross all you guys over right now. All of you. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, let me see what else we got here. Benjamin Burgess says AD is holding off for Giannis. Oh, that would look like. By the way, we'll see if Giannis ends up signing his deal. Giannis should not sign his deal. I keep saying that. Don't sign your deal. Keep pressure on the franchise and just keep playing things out. You got a couple people that agree that AD needs a couple more years or at least 1 more year with LeBron James before he's able to kind of take over for the franchise and go from there. I will say this. I will say that there is, no player can do it on their own in the NBA. You just can't. So as great as LeBron James is, you just can't do it on your own. And for Anthony Davis, whether he's teamed up with LeBron James or one day when LeBron is no longer, he retires or he's no longer with the Lakers, Anthony Davis is going to have to have another superstar. Like, you only win. You got to have multiple stars to make it happen. And, I could go down the list of Kareem and Magic and Worthy, or go down the list of Kobe and Shaq, or go down the list of Powell and Kobe. So there's, certainly for now, if Anthony Davis this season, let's just say, starts becoming the most valuable player for the Lakers, I think that would catch me a little bit by surprise, because I saw a lot of games last year when AD was in and LeBron was on the bench and the Lakers were a different team. But when AD was on the bench and LeBron was in, Lakers would still keep rolling. So that just shows the greatness of LeBron James. Okay. I think we're coming to a close, Laker fans. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. So here's the deal. Training camp starts this week. I keep refreshing the Lakers to see when, players will start talking and everything else. But it's basically here. So it's all coming. Preseason is a week from Friday, Lakers and the Clippers. And we still got a lot of things between now and then, and we'll see what else kind of goes on. Maybe AD does sign a long-term contract, but whatever happens in Los Angeles Lakers basketball, you can catch everything right here on 710 and obviously on our social shows. By the way, Dennis Schroeder came on with Mason and Ramona today. Ramona was filling with for John Ireland. So go back on the app if you want to hear that full interview. So, you could hear Dennis Schroeder in that extended conversation. So thank you for tuning in, Laker fans. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. We'll do this again soon. If you want to catch my Lakers talk show, 2 hours of Lakers basketball, Young Masuk, Mike Bresnahan came on. We talked Lakers basketball in the NBA. Catch it on the ESPN app or on iTunes. Just search Lakers Talk with Allen Sliwa. Thank you for tuning in, Laker fans. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your night. We'll get back at you soon.